the best. God wants us to be prepared to seek out the very best and to recognize that everything we have is because of Him. Now, in Ecclesiastes, the writer goes on to say, in the Message translation, there are people, for instance, on whom God showers everything. How many of you are sick of those people, right? I'm sick of them. They got money, property, reputation, and I'll add hair. All they ever wanted and dreamed of. And then God doesn't let them enjoy it. Some stranger comes along and has all the fun. It's more of what I'm calling smoke, a bad business. You know, there's people, again, they want the big house, but then what they end up having to do is they have to work another job to pay the mortgage for the big house that they wanted, for the family that's living in the big house. The family's not enjoying it because they're not home with the person. And guess what? Nobody's really enjoying all this stuff. Have any of you ever seen that go on there? Just turn on Lifetime television and you'll see it. Right? There's always that consequence. And then we never get to enjoy what we have, because if we don't enjoy what we have today, we are not going to enjoy what we have tomorrow. If we aren't content with what we have today, that contentment will always elude us there. And so in Matthew 13:45, we get this idea of why we need to be seeking. Again, the kingdom of heaven, Jesus says, is like a merchant seeking fine pearls, and upon finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. All of us are in a process of seeking in our lives, but we need to make sure that we are seeking out the right thing. This merchant knew he was looking for a pearl. He was looking for the special pearl, so much so that he would be willing to give away everything, and he finds it. But here's the thing, he only finds the pearl by seeking it out. How many of us want it to hit us on the head? And we just want the answer right in front of us without ever having to seek out anything. The thing is, it probably has hit you on the head over and over and over again, and we're complaining about it hitting us on the head. Oh, I just wish I would have an answer. Well, that just go away, right? You got and that's the answer right there. The very thing that we get frustrated with and that we want to push away is the very thing that we need. But we don't know what we need until we actually seek after it. So that is one of those reasons that we have discontentment in a good way. That good discontent feeling is a good thing if it causes us to seek after that which God wants us to seek after. Being in the wilderness, not necessarily a good thing for the Israelites. I mean, the scorpions, it's hot, and they're whining and complaining. But it was a good thing because it prepared them for the best thing that God had in mind for them, the promised land. Now, one of the reasons that we are discontent is that we are unsatisfied. Whatever we have, we want the next big, best thing. If you had the iPhone 4, when the iPhone 5 comes out, you want it. Why? Because somebody told you got to have it. And when iPhone 6 comes out, you got to trade in. There's nothing wrong with the phone, but all of a sudden, have any of you been like this? When there's something that you really want and you already have something, but you know you can't justify to yourself to buy it, what do? Is you sit there and go, all of a sudden you start picking out the flaws in it. Like I get so far, I didn't know I needed a new computer until one day Brad came over to my house and he goes, this computer is not fast enough for what you need. And I go, it's plenty fast. He goes, no, you could get this computer, it could do all this stuff. And I go, I'm not spending the money on that. Well, Brad planted a seed in my brain. And then every time that little circle, you know that circle that comes up when the computer's thinking, oh, this piece of garbage, it's so slow. I have better things to do with my life than to sit here and look at a circle go over, around, around, around. So what do? I go out and buy the new computer. It was all Brad's fault. I didn't know that I needed it until someone told me I needed it. But did I really need it, or did I take something that I want and put it under the need category? See, I do that all the time when I'm shopping. Anybody else with me? I don't really need it, because there's a cheap side of me. I don't really need it, but I want it. Yeah, I think I need it. And then I get it home, and then I go, don't really feel so much happier with it now. And I look at it, and I go, look at my stuff. Isn't it nice? What am I going to do with it now? But at that moment in time, I thought I needed it, and I thought that it would make my life so much better there. Now, in Exodus...
My church is open and inviting.
My church is a place where there's always going to be a merciful response to what I'm going through.
They accept me for who I am.
I can come regardless of what's going on in my life.
It's a place where I feel safe.
My church is a place of forgiveness.
It's grace-filled.
It's a place where there's mercy for me.
My church is a great place to learn about God.
There's always something new, and I always seem to relate to what is going on.
My church is one of the most creative and inspiring places that I go every week, sometimes twice.
It's a place where my kids have a great time and they're learning, and I know that they are safe.
My church is a place where I can come and use my talents and can help other people.
My church is a place of healing.
Just gives us that extra support that sometimes is hard to ask for.
Anything I go through, there's other people and probably a group that are going through it too, and I can join with them.
My church is open and inviting.
It's grace-filled.
Fun,
Loving,
Creative,
Peaceful.
Healing.
Accepting,
Real.
full of God.
invigorating.
welcoming.
freeing.
Honest.
It's a place where God is alive.
It's my soft place to fall.
My church is where my family has started a story.
It's a place of hope, healing, forgiveness, and grace.
My church brought me back to life.
It's a place that I will always call home.